Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This week we're going to talk about object concepts. So first thing we're going to talk about blocks and scopes. In the lecture we talked about what a block is, scopes, and so forth. So scope is just a refresher, is a portion of a program which you can refer to a variable. Okay. So it comes into scope would be like a variable that comes into existence, like like a baby that's born. It's something just new, and goes out of scope is a variable that ceases to exist anymore, doesn't exist. Now you can declare the variable. You cannot declare the same variable name more than once within a block. It's considered a legal action, and we'll kind of go through that. So we're going to set up one and see what you can and what you can't do. So let's go over here and create a new class. We'll call this blocks and scope. All right. And what we'll do is do the public static. Excuse me. And what we're going to do here, as you notice right here, we have this open and close. So let's make this a little easier for you. So we have it open and close. So then it means the program's in there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use an integer and call it int. We'll say a value equals 33. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare a value again. And I'm going to get a different value. Let's say 49. Okay. What looks wrong with this? Now, as you see here, I have it says duplicate local variable. So it's considered an invalid redeclaration of a value because it is in the same block as the same declaration. So you can't use the same variable more than once. You can't create the same one because it's going to get confused throughout time when you're declaring the same variable and using it. It's not going to know what value to display. All right, so let's say that we comment this out for a second here. Now let's say that we did another open close bracket within our current block, and we said int another value equals 99, and then we said, hey, you know what, let's do that a value again, equals 10 this time. What happens here? Invalid declaration of a value. Even though this is a new block and the block is inside the block, you still can't use it. So what you could do is you could do public void values, we'll call it. Okay, and then we could come down here and say int a value equals 334. Notice it allows you to do it. You know why? Because it's in a different, this is the main static void. It's in a different thing. So I could actually come down here and do copy, paste, paste. I'm going to do it a few times. We're just going to call it value. These are not good names, I promise you. 3, 4, 5, 4, whatever. So it allowed me to do it numerous times because I created different void types. So different methods with the same value, because this can't be referenced outside. Now, if I would have did a private int a value equals 22, I could do that as well. Now, here's the thing: is I could use that anywhere in reference. So that is an example of invalid declarations. And we'll talk a little bit about overrides. They occur when you use a variable name within a method in which it is declared. So the variable takes precedence over any other variables within the same name in another method. So there's also something called shadowing. Locally declared variables always mask or hide other variables within the same name elsewhere if it's in a class. So A good example would be, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this right here and save that. Let's create a new class. Let's call this overriding variable. That's what we're doing. So public class static void args. Alrighty. So let's get started. Let's say integer a number equals 10. And we'll say system.out.println in main a number is plus a number. Okay, so we're displaying whatever that number is up there that we declared. Now we need a first method and a second method. So we'll say first method. Now it's not going to work because we haven't created the method yet. That's fine. Let's just leave it there. We're going to do system.out.println. We're going to say back in the main a number is a number. Okay, and we'll talk about that once we get back there. And we're going to have second method, and we're going to pass in a number. And we're going to have system.out.println back in the main a number is a number. All right, so now before we do anything, we need to create methods. Okay, so what do? We do public static void excuse me, first method, open and close, and we do int a number equals 70 or 88, 89, whatever, no matter. And then we say system.out.println in first method a number is plus a number. Okay. Now we need another method. Public static void second method. And we need to do a parameter here to let it pass in something, a number. All right. Now we'll do system. Oh, I'm getting tired of typing system out. Let's do this. All right, so system out, and we'll say in second method at first we'll say at first, we'll say plus, and we'll say a number is plus a number, whatever that value is. Then after that we'll say a number equals 777, and then we'll say system out again. We'll say in second method, copy it. Let's change this right here. In second method, after an assignment plus a number is plus a number. Close it and bracket it. All right, perfect. Whew, that was a lot of typing. So we come up here and this shows you how to override. We declare that a number equals 10. If we run this and we say, hey, a number equals 10, then what the first thing we do is we go down to first method and we say, hey, we're using int a number equals 89. Now in the first method, a number is a number because now we're overriding what we originally put there. And then we say, hey, back in main, a number is a number. Then we do the same thing in the second number and override it. So let's run this. And here we go. In the main, a number is 10. But in the first method, a number is 89. Back in the main, number is 10. The second method, the first a number is 10, right? And then we say in the second method, after assignment, the number is 777. But back in the main again, the number is 10. This is just an example of how you can override a method. We declared it up here as this value, and we said, hey, it's not going to change, but it did because we called these methods down here. And these methods took in different values. And that would be a good example of an override, how you override a variable. Why you would do it, well, we talked about in the lecture, but that is an example of what an override is. All right, and that will kind of end the overrides, and we'll go on to something else here shortly. Thank you for listening.